Well, we've got a week full of late nights ahead of us here. Welcome back to Pardee Shop Shenanigans. I'm Bob, the Pardee part in, well, having some shenanigans. So I'm working on my son's 1987 G20 fan. We're converting it into an RV. It's his adventure mobile. He spent last summer living in it, discovered all the things that he wished he had different, so we're attempting to make it a lot more cozy. Tonight, got to do some work on the interior. Let's see if I can get you a little more up close and personal here. Over the weekend, we figured these window frames, which was no small feat. They're a booger because we've got a lot of curvature this way. The van curves this way. It was a bit of a bear, but I think it's going to work out pretty well. Nice finish window sill here. Fairly snug up and around. We'll caulk and do some pretty work later. Right now, that's just fit in with a friction fit. And I cut a dado in the windowsill that fits right over the tongue in our tongue and groove boards. Tonight, going to fit the rest of these pieces. We're going to fit all of these pieces. And then if I've got some time and energy, we have to figure out what we're going to do around this gas filler tunnel here. You can see that's where the gas filler door is. So going to have to figure a way to finish this in some way that's going to look nice, as well as something flat off of here. I don't think we'll figure that all out tonight, but we will figure it out. In another video, you can learn what these are all about. Yes, Logan, as a rock climber, put some handholds on the side of his van. If you see him at the grocery store in Moab, Utah this summer, tell him he's nuts. So that's what I've got. That's tonight's project. Time to get after it. Wish me luck and bring me a Red Bull, would you? Well, let's see. How'd it go? I guess I'm making some progress, huh? It's starting to look like a great big old humidor. Did manage to get quite a lot done tonight, actually. I've got these, let's see, this board is actually attached right now on either end, not in the middle, because in the middle it's going to bow in when everything's said and done. And since this is tongue and groove, I didn't want to put a curve on it and start stressing things while I'm putting it together. Got all these guys cut out. They're just a friction fit in right now. Go all the way up next to the door. Most of my fitment was okay around the wheel well. This is not attached to anything yet, so it's just kind of flopping around there. We had one little goober trying to get our angles to work there over the carpet, but all in all, thinking this is starting to look like we know what we're doing. A little bit frightening. I've got these pieces here. They're just a friction fit right now. They're just sitting in place, not attached to anything. I have to figure out how I'm going to put something this way and then how I'm going to connect this corner. I've got some ideas. I think it'll work out just fine. So the day started at 4:45 with that four-letter word work. And here it is. Well, it's getting late enough in the evening. I think it's time to call it a day. Hey, this is Bob checking out for now. We'll be back tomorrow evening with some more work. And if I could do that fancy finger snap thing, and I'm back. I'm not so good at this genie stuff. Hey, it's a new evening and it's time to get back into our little project. So something I didn't point out that I have covered up here, even though it's just temporary because that all has to come out to be stained, is what we did over here for attaching. You know, one of the things I found in researching the internet as we did this project is a lot of before and after, but not a lot of in progress. So what we're doing, if I can hold this camera in a good spot, is we're attaching the tongue and groove boards right to these ribs, and they line up down the length of the van, and they give us a surface where you can't really see with the window frame here in the way, but it gives us a nice surface to work with. But down here, we don't have anything to attach it to. And as you'll see, we've got some short pieces here. nothing to attach them to. Now there is a rib that goes straight up here, but that's just one point, which means this could get kicked and be weak. Same here, even though this is one board and we were able to notch it, which was super fantastic, it still doesn't have strength this way in case it gets kicked or whacked or something crazy goes on. So what we did, Logan had cut away this carpet intentionally so we could put these blocks here. We'll figure where the downward side is, just exactly where the boards will line up. We'll make a mark on here, and then I'm just screwing these guys in, one here, and one up front. And that just gives us a little bit more strength. Another thing that I really wasn't sure initially how we were going to attach everything was, well, just exactly how we were going to attach everything. So what we're using is a flat head. You see it's got that little taper to it, so it finishes nice and flat into the wood. And it's a self-tapper. If you can see this, this looks like a little drill bit, okay? And what that does is when we drive this through the wood, it hits this metal and it drills its own hole and then secures itself into the metal. Because to try to line this all up, pre-drill everything, then put in a screw would be kind of a bummer. So yeah, anyway, that works out pretty good. And then we've got these, a bigger version of it, a bigger, heavier duty version of it here. It's a little bit longer, and that's what we're using to hold this down into the wheel well. So there you have it. Tonight's objective is to try not to throw the camera everywhere, but we're going to get these blocks in. I'm going to be putting one piece all the way across with the doors closed. Yeah, so I'm going to be screwing those doors closed, and then as we build this course and get them all put in and all laid out up to the window, what we'll do is fasten them, and then I'll take a sawzall, and I'll cut right down between the two doors. I'll cut down between the door and the posts, and same on the other side. And then later we'll sand it, bevel a little bit. That way it's a nice consistent look all the way across, nice consistent look all the way across, and the humidor on wheels will be that much closer to completion. So get back after it. Have a great night. I'll give you a progress report, well, when it's dark. Well, it's been a pretty good evening. Little bit of work fitting things here. You can't see it as much from where you are, but I'm cutting these pieces to fit around the windows, the latches. We've got the handle here and the lock that will lock this door. I will cut a piece that'll go clear across down here. I'm going to have to trim it up. I'll cut this out to match the door all the way up, and we will have these pieces that'll go up here. All in all, it's starting to look like a cozy little humidor. I think that's what I'm going to nickname it. Logan calls this Ray Ray. I think this should be the humidor. So we're going to call it a night with this. I'll still have some challenge on how I'm going to finish this up here all the way around. Going to be some interesting cuts, and then back corner I'll still need to put together, but we'll do that tomorrow night. So stick around, there's more to be done. Now let's see if I can get my old fat butt out of here. Okay, it's a Friday evening. We've got tonight and this weekend to get the rolling humidor all but done. Hee-haw. So our challenge tonight is going to be to figure out how to cover this up reasonably well. We're not going to get super fancy. Well, okay, maybe we will. But we've got this fuel tunnel that's in the way, so we couldn't run these guys all the way back. Plus our 10-foot boards were stopping short anyway. So what we're thinking is we're going to build a box that's going to fit right in here and cover this up. So I already kind of did a little recon here. This space here, I needed a certain amount of clearance, so that's what this board is cut out to be. So we'll have some wood that will come across here. This will finish out real nice this way. When I'm all said and done, I'll match it up with this line so it can have a top. This will become a small little shelf, if you will. And then our bigger challenge is going to be, what do I do back here? So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some shorties. We'll have to, you know, again, more mathing. Darn math. Kids, listen to your teachers. Learn math, it's worth it. But we'll be able to set these guys up like this. Come right up with it. I'll notch around this hinge and we'll go right up all the way with these guys. When these boards are attached, there's a rib in the van right here that these will all be screwed to. The windowsill, we will take the air nailer and connect it, so this will be good and rigid, and these should be pretty rigid then, not going anywhere. And so we'll try to match this angle with each board, finish it flush with the frame for the door. And I think what we'll do is, when we get that fit and figure out with this path, we'll just put a piece of like sticky back weather stripping on here, foam rubber weather stripping. This can go right up against it, put a screw in it, it'll finish out, done. Does that work for you, boss?
Works for me.
So that's our mission tonight. And then we played a little bit over here for the power center. We've got to figure out what we're going to do with this. We ran all of our circuits for our lights and for the exhaust fan. A 12-2 wire that's going to be for a outlet off the power inverter. And so right now we've got 2 batteries here. We'll build a box to cover this up nice so the box can just lift out and have easy access to the batteries. And then probably have the power inverter mounted up high. We've got a fuse box we're going to have to put in. So we got some figuring to do here still. So we've got a power center. And Logan, this is kind of our temporary power right now in terms of, well, not temporary, you'll run 2 12-volt batteries, but in this small inverter. But later when he wins the lottery or finds a really rich girlfriend, I hope you're listening, he can get solar set up, have a couple solar panels on top, a charge controller. We still are going to run a cable from here up to the alternator so that we can keep the batteries charged while the engine's running. But a little bit of work to do here, but still making sure we're not too much higher than the wheel well, because that's about where the bed's going to come across. And looky here, a place to put your drink when you're laying in bed. Oh. That will be a adjustable, a dimmable LED light there. And right off the power inverter, of course, you've got some USB ports. So it doesn't look like a lot right now, but this is why you've got to sort of envision what you want it to be. And then think about it before you start putting everything up in these places, because otherwise you find those uh-ohs. Ask me how I know about the uh-ohs. I've made a lot of mistakes and gone, uh-oh. So, mission tonight, we'll see if we can get this corner all buttoned up and call it a night, because it's been a long week. Well, we had a productive evening last night. We figured out how to cover that fuel tunnel for where the fuel filler cap, and there's a tunnel right here, so we covered that up. Obviously, it's all just a friction fit in here right now. Nothing is attached, just so we can dry fit and cut everything the way we want it. We also figured what we're going to do over here for the power center, if you will. Covered up the battery box. Got a little work to do over here. I'll still cut a couple pieces here to cover this up. We'll insulate behind here. One more piece to cut up here. Then all of the walls will come down. We'll number everything, sand it, clean it up, tidy it up, and then clear coat it just like this is with the Minwax product that we really like. It does a nice job, holds up well, and it'll keep things a little cleaner. And then after everything gets put back together, well, I'll actually build the box for what we need here. I'll have little pieces that are going to go on here, but those are very time consuming and tedious. Right now we want to get these walls done and insulated. So there you have it. That's the fun that we're having here at Pardee Shop Shenanigans. Tell a friend or 10, maybe 20, post it at the mailbox maybe, that you know these couple guys that are having fun at Pardee Shop Shenanigans here on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button too. You know, maybe someday I can meet that magical point that someone will sponsor me with, like, I don't know, a saw blade. Go out and make somebody smile today. You both deserve it. Bob out.